Hello guys, welcome back. In our previous video, I showed you how to install Laravel Breeze authentication system and we were able to register, create a user, we were able to log in. This is one of the users we created here. I hope we understood that part. So now, what we are doing in this video is we are going to work for multi-user authentication, because in this project, in this blog website, we are going to have two different users, which will be the admin and the user. So we'll be inserting some data into our database using seed. Laravel actually provided a seed functionality. I'll show you step by step how we are going to do that, so it will be very clear. Now let's go to our VS Code. We don't need this. We don't need this. Don't need this. So in our VS Code, what we are trying to do now, we are trying to insert some data into our database using Seeder. So first of all, where do we get the Seeder? We get them in our database. We'll click on our database. As you can see Seeder here, you can see database Seeder. We also have our factory here. You can see user factory. So the first thing we'll do is that we'll go to our command prompt. Make sure your server is running. So we'll open a command prompt. After we've done that, then we'll type this command to create our Seeder. PHP artisan make Seeder user stable. So once we've typed PHP artisan make Seeder user table Seeder, press enter. As you can see, we have successfully created a user Seeder table.php inside our Seeder folder, which is inside our database folder. Now let's check it out. So these are our database, these are our Seeder folder. Now you can see inside the Seeder folder, we've created a Seeder file. As you can see, it came with a default function, a default run function. So inside this function, this is where we'll be actually working. So inside this run function, we'll be working using a query builder provided by Laravel. So we'll type DB, which is a short form for database. And make sure once you type DB, you include it here. As you can see here. Make sure this is included here. And also type DB. This and table. So which table are we trying to access? Which table are we trying to access? Let's go to our browser, our database. As you can see, we are trying to access this table, which is users. We type in users. What are we trying to do? We are trying to insert. We're trying to insert files. So what we are trying to insert, we're trying to insert for our admin and our user. So let's start with our admin. So in our, let's open our migration, our user table here. So remember, we are trying to insert files into our database using CIDR. So we are trying to insert for an admin and a user. So what we'll be inserting is we'll be inserting our name, our email. We don't need to insert photo because it's nullable. If it doesn't have any data, it won't give us error. So the main thing we'll be inserting is our name, our email, our password, and our role. Let's do that. So first thing we want to insert is our name. Our name, let's name it admin. What next are we inserting? Our email. We can name our email name@gmail.com. Then what else do we need to insert? Our password. Our password. And in our password, remember that in our password, the password we use here, we use blog1234. Then Laravel automatically made it hashed. So Laravel converted our password to a hash password. So that's what we are going to do here. The password we are going to be inputting will make it hash. So type hash first. And also, when you are using hash, make sure it is included here the same way we included our database. Make sure these two are included, or else you run into some errors. So hash and make. So let's make our password 111. Then the next one is our role. What will our role be? The admin. So our role will be admin. So let's copy this and paste it for our user too. So in our user, we'll make this user, and here will be, you can actually use whatever name or email you want to insert into your database. This is just for educational purpose. User, we can change the password for user maybe 222. So admin is 111. Password for user is 222. And the role will be user. Now semicolon here. This is all we have to do here. So as you can see in our database CIDR here. So now into this default CIDR that came with Laravel, this database CIDR, we want to access this user table CIDR that we created. So how do we do that? So into this default CIDR that came with Laravel, this database CIDR, we want to have access to our user table CIDR inside this default database CIDR. So how do we have access to this? We have to call this database CIDR inside this our default CIDR. So we'll call it using this function. So this, so we are calling this user database CIDR. So we'll just copy this. I'll paste it. and we'll add class. So that's all. So calling this now, it's going to insert our admin and our user field into our database. Let's save all. So once we call this user table seeder, our admin and our user demo data will be inserted into our database. So now what we have to do now, we have to open our so what we have to do now, we have to open our command prompt. Open our command prompt and we'll type in this command line php fresh. So what this php artisan migrate fresh as just seed. So what this php artisan migrate fresh does is that once we run the command php artisan migrate fresh, it drops all the data in our database. Once it drops everything, it now migrates a fresh database for us. So now in our command prompt, we've included seed. So now if it's migrating a fresh database for us, it's going to be migrating our seed data. I hope that is clear. So using php artisan migrate fresh, we want our database, all the data in our database to be dropped. Then it's going to migrate a fresh database, an empty database for us with the seed data, with our seed demo data that we provided in our code, which is the admin and the user. So let's see how that works. So now click enter. As you can see, it drops all the table first, then it migrated all our migrations into our database and it seeds our data. You can see successfully seed our data. So let's go to our, let's refresh this. As you can see, it dropped the first login information here, then inserted our demo data through seed. So we successfully seed our data here, and as you can see here, our password, we used 111, but because we add this hash function here, it converted our password to hash password. So now let's test how this works. We'll come to our Laravel, our Laravel project here. Make sure your server is running. Make sure your server is running here. So let's log in with the new demo data we just inserted into our database. That will be user gmail.com, and the password for the user is 222. So let's test that. 222. You can see we've successfully logged into our user. Now let's log out and try our admin login details too. That'll be admin. Password for admin is 111. Login. As you can see, we are successfully logged in as admin. So now in our next video, what we are going to work on is, once you log in as admin, we'll We want to make this route redirect us to another route, and once we log in as user, it should redirect us to dashboard. So to work in a way that once you log in as admin, it will be redirected you to admin/dashboard. So admin dashboard. And when you log in with the user, it will just redirect you to dashboard here. So admin we have their dashboard, user we have their dashboard. So I hope you understand it. In the next video, I'll show you everything step by step. So see you in the next video.